Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Trains with Shane on the I Saw It Online YouTube channel. We've got another Will It Run episode. You probably recognize this guy here, but do you really? Well, your eyes don't deceive you. It is GP7 in MKT colors, but you're like, Shane, we already fixed this unit. Oh, no, we haven't. We fixed this one. Number 1525. This one had the copper contacts that we had to put a little bit more spring into so it would make good contact. So this one did, however, come from the same place. This is another one of the train show purchases. It is, aside from the road number, virtually identical to the other one. It's an Atlas Kato. Actually, no, it may just be Kato branded GP7 split frame, truck mounted couplers, although these have been, I believe, replaced and feature these little knuckle couplers. These one piece. No, they're two piece, but they're not magnetic. So these are probably the original old style Kato knuckle couplers. As you see, that part of this one's broken off, so I'll have to figure out a replacement for that. So anyway, externally, the exact same as the old one. This one has both horns. It is quite dusty. If you guys didn't see the other red MKT units that I did, these came from a basically an estate. A lady's husband unfortunately passed away. He was big into N-scale trains, and she was trying to sell off some of his collection because she was not into the trains to the degree that he was. So I picked up, let's see, 4 of his of those units, and so far 3 out of the 4 have ran great after a little bit of tinkering. The RS3 from the collection was disgusting, and it was keeping electricity from getting to the motor. The GP7 or 9, whatever it is, that I showed you a minute ago, it was very clean, but the copper contacts needed to be bent a little bit to make good firm contact. This one, I don't know. So let's get it over onto the switching layout and find out what it does and what it does not do. All right, we're over on the Inglenook switching layout with our GP. Let's turn on the track power, select our forward direction, and dial up the juice. Okay, we are half power, 50%, 70, 75. I saw a little movement. Let's give a little help here. 75% power, moving, not great. It's struggling, full power, a little surge. Let's bring her back. Set my camera down here. I think we're going to leave that there. Okay, so very stuttery. It's struggling. So let's get it back over onto the disgusting workbench and pop the shell off. Find out if we've got a big mess to clean up, or if we just have some contacts that need to be addressed, maybe some lubrication, maybe a combination of that, maybe something new that we haven't seen before. So I'll get her back over onto the discussing workbench, and I will see you there. Alrighty guys, we are over here on the disgusting workbench. I took the shell off and the fuel tank and air tanks off camera. I love these early Kato and the Kato Atlas split frame units, but just getting this little impossibly frail separate, because you see it's separate from the actual car body here, to get the assembly off it's not very easy, because you don't want to have too heavy of a touch and ham fist it and bust off plastic lugs and stuff like that. I mean, basically your attach points are these little nubs on the end of the chassis there and there. One side always comes out real easy, the other side's always the biggest pain, because those handrails and the walkways are made to such a good standard that they fit on there very well, and they're snug. So they're just hard to get off. So I save the cursing and the fighting with them for not to be displayed on camera. So anyway, we've got our split frame here. Let's zoom in and see what we've got here. The wheels aren't perfectly clean, but they don't look horrible. I'm willing to wager that that's... Oh, autofocus, what are you doing? As I was saying, the wheels are a little bit dirty, but they don't look bad. So I doubt that we're dealing with a problem of it being nasty there. Let's just drop this in our cradle here. Stop autofocusing. Change the zoom level. Maybe that'll snap it out of it. We are going to bypass the wheels and the pickups. Got the electrodes. We're going to dial up a little juice on our little DC transformer that is attached to the underside of the disgusting workbench, and we're going to go right to the chassis. Let me dial up a little less current here. All right, let's dial it the other direction. Also good. Hey Google, turn off the train.
Got it. Turning the train off.
I'm sorry if I activated any of y'all's devices. I've got a smart plug set up on it. So we went to the split frame and it seems to be okay. So we're either dealing with a problem of the trucks getting the power to the split frame, or the trucks getting the power from the wheels, which that would be a problem similar to that GP7/9 that we worked on. So let's remove our, first let's zoom back out. Okay, remove our light boards. What a great little simple design that was. All right, let me find my Phillips screwdriver. These are probably JIS, but small Phillips will work. I don't think we need to take this thing completely apart. We just need to loosen it up enough to get the trucks out. Let's see, we've got a little bit of funkiness in the cups here, but not too bad. Yeah, not too bad. We'll set that aside and go to our trucks. pretty standard fare. These particular locomotives, only one side of the truck. Both trucks are made are identical in their make. Both trucks only pick up power from one side. When you mount them on the engine, one truck picks up power from this side, the other picks up power from the other side. Again, a simple design. It's not the best system in the world, because likewise you have a span of about this long where you have to have good power continuity the whole time. This type of arrangement can cause problems with certain unpowered turnouts and things like that. I've never had a problem with these, and for the day they were incredibly reliable. So to get these trucks apart for inspection, I like to take this pair of tweezers that I've got, and let's see if I can move the junk out of the way here. Get on a hard surface, and you see where the metal meets the plastic right here, specifically right in here. The bottoms are plastic, but these truck sides are metal. So you have to get in here, and you have to push down right here, and it's the same on the other side here, only a little bit more substantial. And you can push the plastic down, and you have to be firm with it, but you also don't want to be too firm, if you know what I mean. You don't want to ham fist this and bust it. See, and that pops down. And the other side. You have to be careful to get these in the right spots, or they won't work. Come on. There we go. And you want to keep pressure on the wheels. Not a ton of pressure, but that way when you pop this down, this whole thing doesn't come flying apart and all that. So, move our tweezers out of the way. Get our spongy workbench back over here. And the top, or I guess the bottom in this case, just lifts straight off. And we can get a look in here. Pretty clean. It's interesting. You see we've got our one copper pickup on the one side. I'm going to put this down and disassemble it. See, the stuff just lifts out of here and then rolls away. You've got 3 gears here. Transfers power from your worm gear down to your axle gears. These are not press fit. These are just sitting in here. Easy to lose if you're not careful. So I'm going to set those aside. Here's our other side. It's pretty bare. And here's our copper wiper. As you can see, if you guys can see that or not, there we go. Pretty crusty. This is the contact surface on the outside here. Try my best not to lose it. The inside of our wheel flanges, I don't know if you'll be able to see this real well. They're not horribly dirty, but they're not horribly clean either. So I think what we are dealing with here, I don't know, maybe a combo issue. I don't know if I can get the angle right on this, guys, but if you can see, that makes almost a complete 90 degree. I can't get the angle right against the lens here, guys. They're almost flat at a 90 degree angle. I'm going to clean these for one. I'm going to give them just the tiniest bit of outward bend towards like the camera if I were facing them this way. This shouldn't be too hard to clean off. Might be able to just gently wipe it off with my thumbnail here. Looking better already. This guy here. Also pretty easy to scrape the mung off of, as Mark Novak would call it. If you guys are into historical firearm refurbishment, restoration, and repair, go check out Mark Novak's channel, Novak. He's not for everyone. He's definitely you'll either love him or you'll hate him. And that's his word. He likes to use those phrases. He likes to scrape the mung or the scuzz or the gack. You'll hear him use all those terms. And we put a tiny bit of outward bend on this. Not a lot. It doesn't take a lot of pressure for this to work and make contact. If you put too much pressure on it, it acts like a spring. Surprise, surprise. And it will push the axles to one side, and it will create friction and cause this to not work right. That's all I'm going to do, really, other than getting in here and seeing if I can clean off the back side of these wheels. I was a tiny bit ill-prepared, and I don't have any cotton swabs on the workbench with me. So if you guys will excuse me for a second, I will be right back. All right, I'm back, and I've brought supplies. I've got cotton swabs. Any brand will do. And I've got 91% isopropyl rubbing alcohol. Odorless mineral spirits would probably also work fine. I use that sometimes. And you just want to get in here and clean the back side of these flanges off. As you can see, we're getting a tiny bit on there already. Oh yeah. When we get this thing back together, we will use alcohol, and we'll once we're under power, we will clean the surfaces, the rolling surfaces. Yeah, she's definitely a dirty girl. Not in a good way. All right, number 2. Get in the frame here so you guys can see what I'm doing. And again, I'm concerned about the inside flange here. See how that's looking pretty good? Oh yeah, much improved. While we're here, go ahead and get a little bit of isopropyl alcohol on the other end of the cotton swab here. Going to just dress up our surfaces here. They had a tiny bit of stuff on them, not a lot. I'm going to go inside here a tiny bit too, because there is conductive area in there as well. And again on this side. That's enough for the frame. Definitely some nasties on that truck frame. I don't think that it's 100% required for electrical conductivity, because the copper sits on here and is transferred up through these lugs, but no, we're here, so may as well clean it. I have found that some cotton swabs will fit perfectly in the axle area here. You can use the stick itself as a cleaner. I am not going to mess with the gear set in here. You can take these out and clean them if you need to. They are pretty clean. About to be pretty lost if I fumble them again. There is very little resistance, like virtually none, to the action here. The truck goes back together in the exact opposite way you took it apart. I always forget which side the copper wiper goes on, so I only take apart one truck at a time, so I always have one to look at. Getting old. Okay, there we are. You guys can see in there. There's the copper. Right there. It is opposite of the gears. Okay. Easy enough. Let's see if I can get this together on camera. Got our bottom side, because the gears on this side will correspond with where the gears need to be on the axles. So the gears will go on the bottom here. Let's get the other side of our truck. It's really kind of a delicate balancing act. There's not a whole lot of points holding this together. It pivots on this one big nub that the center gear rides on. And it's not even a snug fit, so you have to be have to get creative with your fingers on how to hold this. Put your axles in. These just lay in here. They don't clip in like some others do. And if you'll notice, it gets kind of wonky sometimes while I'm messing with this. Get our newly cleaned up copper contact. And we kind of have to snake it in here and drop it on the ground and lose it forever. All right, stand by while I retrieve this. Thankfully, it did not go far. Hardest thing to do is to not move your feet when you drop something like that, because you don't want to step on it. All right, let's try again to snake this under here. You guys screaming at me yet? Okay, there we go. I snake that in there, make sure that it's making contact with the backs of the flanges. Line up. The camera picks up everything. That's a tiny little piece of... That's Molly the Chihuahua's hair. All right, so our gears are on this side. You can see the little cutout for the gears also goes down here. Basically, you just build it upside down here. It's kind of fiddly. You'll make mistakes once or twice when putting these together. I still make mistakes putting these together. And then it all clips back together. Like I said, just a compression fit. I screwed it up. Can you guys see it? I don't know if you can see it, but our copper wiper ended up on the outside of the wheel here. So we're going to take that apart again. With our tweezers. There we go. Flip this thing back over. Remove our top. Hope I didn't permanently mangle the copper. Back behind the wheel flange again. Like I said, guys, you'll make mistakes putting these things back together. It's okay. Just try to be careful and go slow. Okay, make sure we're locked in here. In the camera. Okay. Back together. Rolls pretty easy. Or get out of focus again. Okay, and there it is. One truck done. 10 minutes later. I'm going to do the exact same operation on the second truck, so I will spare you guys the pain of watching me do that a second time, and I will bring you guys back when I'm ready to slam the whole thing back together. Alright guys, I've got the GP7 or GP9 slammed back together. The second truck was noticeably dirtier than the first, so it definitely had some funk buildup on it. So let's turn our power on, pick a direction, dial in the power. Oh, here we go. Oh yeah, I'd say we got some improvements here. Whoa, wind line, come back. Full power. So fast the camera can't even keep up, mostly because I keep dragging the tripod on stuff. Forward again. Creep's okay for a very old unit without flywheels. Manage the turnout okay at slow speeds. Let's bring her back. Dial in a tiny bit more power. Man, I need to fire this camera guy. Alright. And I think that's going to do it for that test. So, success, guys. Will it run? Yes, it will. But it took a little bit of cleaning to get it there. Longtime followers of the channel will know that that's not uncommon at all when buying something used like this. If you're at a train show, you don't always have an opportunity to test these things out. Some shows will have test tracks set up, some will not. What you might do is keep a 9-volt battery in your pocket, as long as you have a safe plastic case to transport one in, because if you put one in the pocket and gets up against your keys, that could cause a dead short, and bad things happen. But, and this isn't something I've done yet, but I've heard people talk about it. It won't work for this particular style. Actually, it will if you take the tank off the bottom. But you take a 9-volt battery and you just stick it to either side here, and it'll run. On newer locomotives, not on these obviously, because there's only one pickup per truck. can also stick it to the wheels and it'll start to run. Again, on these older ones, you'd have to go directly to the chassis like this, and if it's got a tank on it, like the one I forgot to put on this one, that might prove to be a tiny bit difficult, but it's something to try. You could also bring a small piece of track with a 9-volt battery wired to it, or heck, I mean, this thing's battery powered, and it's just Velcroed on here. You could take one of these things with you with a short lead on it and a piece of track and test your stuff out. There are possibilities, but again, that's not always, testing isn't always an option. So if you get one home and find out that it doesn't run, the world's not over. Just perform some of the steps we performed here today in troubleshooting and figure it out, clean it, fix it, make it work. So I want to thank you guys for joining me on another episode of Will It Run with Trains with Shane on the I Saw It Online YouTube channel, and I will catch you guys on the next one.